the guy said in the 70s, they had satellites that can see what kind of Newport you smoking in the 70s. They had stuff out there in the 70s. So when they say, well, you know, this black person was killed by so-and-so, we don't know. And, oh, you know, I would always say, like, they always try to bring up Chicago. Oh, high crime Chicago. We gonna blame black folks for this and can't never find nobody.
It ain't that I can't stop. It's that I won't stop. I made a few plays off a flip. Now I'm on top. I'm Southside Chief, homie. Yeah. What you know about it? Lake Street legend CEO, not the co-founder. What you wanna know about me? I'm so churched up. I'm the last man standing, but I went first up. Most hated, they don't say it when I roll up. The things that people say about me, they don't say close up. Check it. I ain't been to the booth in a minute. Niggas hate the fact that I'm winning. Who makes him the chief of the South Side? Oh, my nigga, I'm not the lieutenant. When I was in the gym, you wasn't in it. Face off, so my windows is tinted. If I said that shit, then I meant it. Niggas gave me the rules and I bent it. Same nigga that was trapping while I was suspended. You wasn't in them hallways banging, boy, you wasn't in it. Really a genuine nigga, homie, don't get offended. From East Lake, South Murder, I'm just saying that I can't stop. It's that I won't stop.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Another episode of Minnesota's #1 daily show live on Lake Street. Special guest in the building. I don't know what to call you. You're an author. You're
Author, former tech trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Author, former tech trainer, and you work for a very large data company.
Very large data
That you're not
company.
going to say what it is.
I'm not gonna say what it is.
We got DP in the building.
What's happening?
Okay,
What's going
so
on? We live.
So let's just talk about. Let's start right off of the bat. I want to talk about Comcast.
Well, I was talking to a account executive the other day,
Okay.
and he was telling me something y'all probably don't know. When you run some of these commercials, like anybody's running commercials for like big names, big rap names, whatever the case in the city,
Yeah.
they bought, for example, like Walmart, they buy data from a lot of these big corporations.
For sure. I
So
knew
when
that.
you swipe your credit card,
Mhm.
all that data goes out somewhere. So and that goes to like, okay, what's the demographic? 16 to 25, 25 to 30. Are you poor? Do you got money? Do you live in Edina? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to buy some data.
You trying to buy some data?
Yeah, over here we're trying to live on Lake Street. Need some data.
Okay.
We need some. We need some email lists.
Email it. Okay, I'm gonna try to find out some information for you.
Nah, for real. We need that. I mean, it's happening, right?
It is.
So we might as well.
People are selling data. Big companies are buying data.
Yep.
You know, it's gonna cost some bands, but it could be done.
You think Facebook is still doing it, even though they said that they had to stop?
Oh, of course they doing it.
Yeah.
If you look at, matter of fact, they had a thing where they were like, what they would do with them algorithms, they would ban a lot of stuff that black people would say, such as if you talk about having a black family, a nuclear family, they would show pictures of maybe like a black woman, and it will be with a kid, and then the black dude might be in jail or something.
Yep.
But a lot of these white supremacist groups, they'll keep showing them.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I actually just recently heard that the term white spelled YT has been banned
Right.
on Facebook because that's what black people use to
Yep.
describe white people.
Right. So sometimes black folks will do that, and they'll use certain little code words or whatever. Some of them have been figuring out how to break down the Tut language. If you ever heard of Tut language, that's a language where when black folks was on the plantation, they would communicate. So it was a foundational black American Tut language that was created. So you're going to start seeing all types of little weird algorithms, but they ain't stopped the killings and the premieres of ambushes by black folks. They ain't stopped that.
If it bleeds, it leads.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that, you know, me being in media, I know that. That's never changed, and it's never probably gonna change.
It never will.
If it bleeds, it leads. Anybody, if it's salacious, right there on the front page.
Yeah, and they've been doing that. They've been doing that well over 160 years. They started that heavily after slavery, quote unquote, ended, which never really ended. Still was going on in the 60s, Louisiana, but we'll get in that another time. But they used the media, since they couldn't have black folks in chattel slavery, they said, well, hey, you know, we're going to try to demonize them. They ain't going to work for free, so we'll figure out all kinds of different ways. Yeah. And a lot of that, you got to think, a lot of these people that's creating this code, they're using algorithms saying, like, AI now can basically reject you. Or we have a name like Bushika, or we have a name like Jerome. They be like, oh, no, get him out of here. Bring in Brad, bring in Billy Bob, whatever the case may be. They could do that.
Not Brad and Billy Bob.
Brad, Billy Bob, Sarah, Karen, all of them.
I hate all of them. All of them. Oh man. So talk to me about the books, man. Talk to me about what.
First, I would have to go kind of back a little bit. I wrote that because there wasn't really nothing out there at the time, and there's still, besides these two books, I've been looking all across the globe, all the internet. There ain't really nothing out there like it, and I don't. I was gonna try to be humble. I'm saying, no, I'm gonna talk some shit. I'm gonna talk my shit a little bit. There's really nothing out there. And when I first started in IT, I didn't really see any black IT professionals. Yeah. So, a lot of it, to be honest, was rooted in music. I used to always want to be a producer and stuff when I was coming out of South High and all that. Mm-hmm. So I used to go to all the studios and, my homies like Angel Beach, 32 West and stuff. And around that time, that was really before SoundCloud. We had Napster and stuff. So I was like taking computers, finding them in the back of dumpsters and companies that didn't want them no more, and I'd take them home and stuff like that. Back then with the studios, you couldn't just go in the studio like that. You either had to be with some street niggas or you had to be with somebody that might want to invest in you. You see what I'm saying? So you couldn't just go in and, that era of time, around that time, I mean, we was, a little after that, we was listening to stuff like Life After Death, See Murder, Unpredictable, and all that kind of stuff. So,
the No Limit days.
Yeah, the No Limit days. And when IPR first started, when I got out of high school around 2003, I was like the first group of those people when IPR started, when Blackjack was there. So I was on the SSL doing the master mix and all that. And so, I was always the kid where people would come to me to hook up their Paragon cable. They called it Paragon back then. It was, now it's Comcast Xfinity. But I used to hook up people's cable, caller ID, and things of that nature. So what...
You were the tech guy.
I was a tech guy. The way I found out, my mom was going to the Minnesota School of Business, and she sent me upstairs to get something. And a big-ass book just fell and landed on my foot. And I'm like, well, damn, this book must got some information in it. I pick it up, and I sit there in the closet for about an hour reading it, learning about the hardware and stuff. And so, as I would go to school, I was working at Cub Foods right over here on Lake, on 26, and
You said Cub?
Cub, yeah. Yep. And I think what I did is I saved up and got a CD burner. This was around like LimeWire, Napster days and stuff. So my homies would come over there. They made mixtapes. We'd be slanging mixtapes. Some of my homies would be selling dope, selling weed, all this shit. I had the mixtapes. I would build a computer. You know what I'm saying? We had like XP around that time. And so when I got out of high school going to IPR, they're like, well, DP, what do you want to do? Because you know how to mix and master and stuff like that, but what do you really want to do? I was good in my class. So I said, well, I want to do PC stuff. And so it took a couple years. Eventually what happened was I was working in Frogtown at Sears, and I said, okay, this ain't going to work. I was doing like some merchandise support or something like that, and I said, man, I can't be doing this dead-end shit no more. I said, I can't do that no more. So I went over north on Plymouth and Penn to the Urban League. They had an A+ certification program.
Okay.
I went there for a couple months. I didn't get my A+.
Are they still?
The Urban League, I think, is still there.
Okay.
I don't know if they're operating. I think they are.
Okay.
I think they are. The building's there because I just went down. I was over there not too long ago.
I was just over there the other day. I don't know.
It looked dead. I don't know if it's. It probably is open. I'm not sure if it is. Yeah. But I went to that program. After that, I wrote an essay, and the essay was basically about why do you want an IT position or something? Why do you want mentorship? And around this time, this was B.J. Smith from Mad Dads, and John Turnipseed, rest in peace. I think somebody told me he had passed, but I wrote them a essay, and I was just going hard, like descendants of slaves. We need our reparations. We need to have nuclear families. We need to have economics, blah, blah, blah. I was just going in for like 3-4 pages. They were like, okay, we're going to be your mentors. We know about something that's opening up soon, which was the Crystal Ray Jesuit High School, Colin Powell Center. So I went over there on a 1-year internship. Bam. Was in it. No college degree, did an internship, did a lot of the infrastructure there or whatever, and I just started taking contracts. So fast forward, I'm long-winded. Years on in, I was doing Windows 7 migrations for a lot of major companies in Minneapolis. Yep. And eventually, I wrote a book about how to get in the game because there wasn't nothing like that out there. And so after that, or before that, I was a tech trainer. So initially, at first, I started going to I was going to Metro State University, just talking to kids, showing them there's people that looks like me, or looks like you, that's in these avenues.
Yeah.
And then I went to somebody heard about it and said, well, do you want to write a curriculum for adults? I had already been hooking my homies up with jobs and stuff for IT.
Mm-hmm.
So I created a class through the Minneapolis Park Board, started doing tech training. And then, you know, years later, all the game I learned, I put it in a book.
So I haven't read the book yet.
Okay.
I will.
Yeah.
But like I told you, it's something that this isn't even a problem that I really even knew existed.
Yeah.
And I would say mostly because I didn't really even know, like when you started teaching this,
Mm-hmm.
was there like an outpour of people that quote unquote looked like you that wanted to be in IT?
Hell no, because they didn't really. A lot of them didn't really know.
Okay.
And the people that thought that they had to, well, you got to go down here to the U of M and knock out 50, 60,000. They didn't know.
So it wasn't necessarily a matter of companies not hiring black people to do the job. It was more like black people weren't really looking at it to do that as a job.
Well, once you get in, part of it, put it like this, bro. They should have a major outreach program.
Yeah.
Anyway, for the descendants.
No,
of
you're
slaves.
right.
But there was still a lot of black people that didn't really know about it.
Yeah.
And if they did know about it, they figured, well, I got to go to college for years and years and years. And I'm like, no, you ain't got to do that shit. Just get you a help desk job, bro. Get you a certification and get in there. You see what I'm saying?
So it's more that like black people didn't really even know that this would be an option for them. So
They
you kind of opened the door and was like, hey, this is not
in a
like,
way. In a way.
Because that's a good job to have. Like that can be pretty lucrative.
Yeah.
For people.
Well, and then here's another thing. You'd have a lot of these corporate. I ain't gonna mention they little slimy ass names. But
Come on. This live on Lake Street.
Man, well, I ain't
Talk
gonna do
your
it to them.
shit.
I ain't gonna do it to them. But there's
Talk
a lot of
your
places. I'll say
shit.
they was in Edina. Some of these IT certifications, they go to the Urban League. They hear about the little grants and shit from these little bullshit politicians. And then what happened is they'll go to the Urban League.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, we could get you this MCSA certification, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's going to cost the Urban League 3-4 bands. They hear about it and they just come like vultures. The black folks get out there and you got all these white supremacists out there, don't even really want them to be there. So now you having a Jim Crow. Let's upgrade it. Fuck it. Not a Jim Crow education. Let me update the lexicon for everybody in Minnesota. The Dred Scott North education. A lot of people don't know the Dred Scott North situation. No white man is bound to respect any black person. People, you know, people say the Jim Crow North.
Yep.
This the Dred Scott North. This ain't no Jim Crow no more. We beyond Jim Crow. Dred Scott North. That was in the Wisconsin territory.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that happened up here.
I'm getting an education today.
Man, I'm telling you, this gonna make folks when they do their interview, they gonna step their intellectual game up. These next folks, they gonna want to come with it. The Dred Scott came up here because the law was, if you go up north, you free. And they were like, the Supreme Court, the white Supreme Court said, look, nah, nigga, you a slave. Get your ass back to get your ass back down south with your master, straight up. Yeah, he Dred Scott, man. Dred Scott couldn't. It was fucked up.
That's not funny, but the way you said it was funny.
But I'm saying, like, this is Dred Scott North, bro. So like, Edina used to be a sundown town. You know that?
I did not know that.
Yes, sir.
Actually, you know what? I think I did hear that. There's a few other cities in Minnesota that are like that.
I heard Albert Lee might have been. There's a book that a guy wrote called Sundown Towns. Wyzetta, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Wyzetta. I know for a fact Edina used to be a sundown town.
I mean, let's be real. If Edina was probably a lot.
It's probably a gang of them. The Duluth, they hung some niggas back in '82, I believe. In '82.
Excuse me?
Yes, I believe it was like one lynching in '82. I believe there was, but there was some in the 1900s.
Was it just people acting alone, or was it law enforcement related?
Well, you got to think, I'm white and I say so is law of the land. So if you're a white person, you could deputize another white person to kill a black person. But it was probably, we do know in the early 1900s they used the whole little Carolyn Bryant thing. Oh, he touched a white woman or wherever. They strung up 2 or 3 black folks in Duluth. This did happen in the 1900s. I can pull up the pictures for you.
Okay, I believe you. I believe you for sure. I don't want to see those pictures. Thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, man. I mean, it's when I got on the job, I might see a few black folks, and sometimes what would happen is is it might be a black person that you meet, and then, you know, when you start talking to them, sometimes they be like, oh, I don't want to be associated with him too much because, oh, you know, he's too black. That nigga too revolutionary. Basically, when the brother start talking to me, he like, okay, this nigga ain't no coon. He gonna fuck up my money. And I ain't trying to mess up his bread or nothing like that. But sometimes in them corporate environments, you know, you get the niggas start samboing a little bit, like, so you feel kind of by yourself. Now there's more people like coders with software development. I always recommend people to get into like Salesforce because AI is wiping a lot of stuff out.
Yeah, they teach that now in like high school and shit.
They should.
Coding.
They should.
My kid has one of my kids' classes is coding.
They should. And that's one of the proposals that I have in my second book. They should have a coding class, especially for. We'll get into that in a minute, but yeah, they should have a coding class. Salesforce is big because AI and this Chat GPT thing is wiping out a lot of software developers, but they can't stop data centers at Salesforce.
Yeah. Yeah, we live in a scary world. But
it is.
but I also think, just like all other technology, we'll adapt. It won't even be a thing. Like, you know, it's like we only get afraid of it years before it actually happens.
Or when you know about it, and when they put it like this, there's prototypes. Like when I was going to Century College for some time for a cybersecurity degree. Okay. I didn't finish because I ended up teaching other people. I said I don't need that fucking degree. But anyway, there was one of the instructors used to be, and he was like, well, this used to be classified information, but I could tell y'all it's constitutional law class. You ought to ask me about the Fifth Amendment in a few minutes. There's some more bars for some people on here that they don't know about. The guy said in the 70s, they had satellites that can see what kind of Newport you smoking in the 70s. They had stuff out there in the 70s. So when they say, well, you know, this black person was killed by so-and-so, we don't know. And, oh, you know, I would always say, like, they always try to bring up Chicago. Oh, high crime Chicago. We going to blame black folks for this and can't never find nobody. They can find people.
Bro, I promise you, I was just having this conversation.
They can find people.
We know that they can listen to these whenever they want to.
Absolutely.
We know this. We know this, right? This is common knowledge now. Like, we give apps on our phones permissions to have access to our speakers all the time, right? So, on one side, you can't say we don't know who did it or we don't know what happened because that's bullshit. Like,
they know.
They know. You don't have to be on the phone talking about a crime for them to be able to hear you talking about the crime. The phone just got to be in your pocket.
Right. And they could now. It's probably not 1 million people listen to one time, but
probably not.
It's like AI and stuff. But here's the thing: COINTELPRO never stopped.
Right.
It never stopped.
It didn't. And if you have a suspect, you can find that suspect. You
can find them whenever they hear about. And let me go back to these issues where they say like. You notice every couple weekends they start talking about, well, there's a weekend, it's 100 black folks, it's gangbangers in Chicago. That's cap. That's big cap.
Of course it is.
Capoeira martial arts. Big cap. Abraham Lincoln cap. A lot of times, now think about all those cameras. I've been there a couple years ago.
Yeah.
There's cameras everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
So these shootings, and there's been some reports where there's been white dudes, and they always come from outside the city. They'll put in black masks, and these masks look real, bro. They look hella real with the hands and everything. And they will come out, and there'll be a weird shooting, and they don't know nothing. They don't know anything. Oh, well, we don't know anything. I'm like, y'all, it's not hard for them to find out. They can find out that information. I just told you that they got satellites out there in the 70s that can find out what kind of cigarette you got. So imagine what they have now.
Yeah, they can see everything.
They can see everything.
They're in here. Listening to us talk.
I'm pretty sure. And they were like, now, if you don't move the needle, they're just like, oh, whatever. But now if you start moving and shaking things, then, you know.
I mean, we know pretty much for a fact that the police watch these interviews.
Oh, for sure. You know what they're looking for? They're looking for a term I coined called DevOps to Dead Ops. They're hoping that some artist will get up there and start talking about smoking his homies and this, that, and the third. They sit there and they watch all of that stuff.
Yep.
There was an article not too long ago, many years ago.
They're not going to find that, by the way, because if anybody came up here and said anything like that, that shit would be immediately cut. That will never see the light of day.
But right. But ultimately, it's like, you know, there was a case where it was some dudes, I think it was over north or something. I think it was something where they were tweeting and talking about they were going to go ride on the ops or whatever. And the police came and arrested the people before they were getting ready to do it. So I said, wait a minute. So y'all sitting back watching some of these brothers go at each other. You know what they doing all across the internet, and y'all just letting it go.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Then I thought about it. I said, that means they have information on the Proud Boys and everybody else.
Of course.
And here's another thing. They already know. There was a guy named Mike German, a white guy, ex-FBI agent. He said they already have all the laws. They have laws to charge these guys as domestic terrorists. He said it's not an issue that they don't have the laws and all that. They said they just refuse to do it. It's not a matter of, we need more votes. Vote for Joe Biden. Let's have some catfish and cornbread and collard greens. No. They know what these folks are doing, and they have the laws to punish them, but they won't. But if a black person does something online, if you have a Karen or whatever the case may be, they'll share some kind of, those algorithms, they work in a gear. For the listeners don't know, the way the algorithms work, and this will work on y'all's gram too. If you have a video and someone keeps liking it and commenting it and all that, and then if the powers that be want it to go, once it starts going, it's like you pushing somebody in a roller coaster, and it gets keep speed. It keeps speed. It's keep speed. That's why when they say, like, I think it was the Kardashians, they said they could get like 10, 15 bands a post on their gram or something like that.
It's more than that.
More than that.
Lot more than that.
So yeah, they'll just keep pushing them.
Yeah. It's funny, and it is interesting what the algorithm chooses to push. You know, I had put up a post 2 weeks ago of Michael Jackson allegedly firing his sound engineer, his stage and sound engineer. I don't even know if that's really what it is, but that was what it was portrayed to as me. Portrayed to me as. Yeah. It's been a long day. Yeah. And I posted it.
Right.
Because it was funny.
Right. Okay.
It's at 4 million views.
Damn.
No
on the
idea.
gram?
Yeah.
Okay.
No idea why. But I have to assume it kind of makes Michael Jackson look like an asshole.
Well, do they monetize that for you, or they say, well, no, we ain't gonna give you nothing for that?
My reels are monetized.
Okay.
But ironically, copyright strike on that one.
Oh, okay. Okay. So now, here's another thing. You brought up Michael Jackson. Jackson owned all the masters of the Beatles and stuff like that. And they tried to lifetime him, you know, they basically tried to demonize him left and right. And then if you're going to demonize the artist.
He owned Eminem's masters.
He owned Eminem's masters. Yeah. Oh, okay. So they said, he got to go.
Well, they
said, okay, you got to go, dude.
It was allegedly a petty move because of the Michael Jackson parody that Eminem did.
Oh, okay.
So he lit the hair on fire. Michael Jackson didn't like that.
So he owned Eminem.
Yes, I believe Em has now recovered his masters.
Damn, Eminem was on Mike Jackson's plantation. That's some shit.
Yeah.
Eminem tried to do the Elvis and ended up the other way around.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, Michael, you got to think he learned off the greats. James Brown is, and I always say this, James Brown was the pioneer of hip hop.
Yeah, for sure.
All the samples came from James Brown.
I mean, James was a bit of a rapper.
He was.
Yeah.
Rap came and to set the record straight. Yep. Rap came straight from the descendants of the slaves. Straight. It wasn't from nowhere else. It wasn't from no immigrants. James Brown was from Georgia. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't from the Bronx.
No,
now hip hop, it started in the Bronx, but I'm saying that it derived from, and even before James Brown, there's several other people, several other foundational Black Americans that was rapping. There was a group called the Jubilites.
Not familiar, but
it's 3 dudes. You probably seen it.
Okay.
They were talking about Moses and stuff snapping. Somebody put some trap music behind it.
Oh shit.
They were rapping. So yeah, rapping. I mean, before it actually became like a actual like, okay, this is rap.
I look at rap and hip hop are two different things to me. So I think hip hop may have been born in New York in whatever year. I forget what's the year. I should know this.
I
should know this.
Well, see, folks was doing it.
Yeah.
probably before there was like a camera or like a record. So I
rapping,
say the 70s, 70s, 80s.
Rapping is one thing. Hip hop is another thing. Not another thing, but rap is something that is inside the genre of hip hop to me.
It would have started first.
Because here's why. Here's why I say this. Insane Clown Posse, they rap, but that ain't hip hop.
Not really.
Kid Rock, he raps sometimes.
He's not hip hop at all.
Hip-hop.
He's not hip. And I done heard some shit about him. I done heard some funny style shit about him. I heard he's a suspected white supremacist.
He is a white supremacist.
Okay, all right.
Of course he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, you have a lot of those that done. We really needed some real gatekeeping that should have been going on. Like, okay, yeah, you don't, we ain't letting you in.
Yeah.
We ain't letting you in. You just ain't gonna get in. Cause I'm gonna tell you, I remember like when I was in school. Man, like the 90s and shit like that, even white artists, white dudes, that we wasn't letting them go around saying the N-word or like they cool or whatever. We slapped the fuck out of them for shit like that.
We didn't either.
We didn't let that. And how old is you?
38.
Okay, so we didn't allow that. None of that. No, ain't none of that going on.
Yeah.
Like I was just talking to one of my homies and he was like, I said, man, you remember like the starter jackets and shit?
Yeah.
And I said, a lot of kids don't, they wouldn't have known. I remember I used to want the Chicago Bulls jackets. Mm-hmm. You couldn't wear no Chicago Bulls jacket in Minneapolis.
Yeah, it was a problem.
That was a problem.
I remember somebody got shot over the Chicago Bulls jacket at Mall of America.
Man, you can't wear no Chicago Bulls jacket because they going to think you one of the, the Red Rags or one of the brothers. You couldn't wear it. My parents was like, no, you can't have it. You could get the Notre Dame. I'm like, damn, because I wanted the Chicago Bulls jacket with the big... The big Red Bull.
The Bull, yeah.
That was a target.
Course,
you get smoked over that.
Absolutely.
And that was a dope jacket.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And people, and even not just from the affiliation, like just having a starter jacket. Mm-hmm. If you out and about, and this is when
like
niggas was getting money.
There was like $100.
It was $100. Come up off of that. Jays, give me that starter jacket and give me them Jays.
That's a fact. Yeah.
That used to be happening.
I remember those days. I got fucking beat up at a roller rink by like 4 people when they took my jacket.
Was it in St. Louis Park?
It might have been.
Roller. What was that? What was that one of St. Louis Park? Was it St. Louis Park? Was it Roller Garden?
God, I don't even remember.
Okay.
It was so long ago. But I didn't even know who these kids were. But I had on the 49ers starter jacket.
Okay, they had made you come up off
red and gold. Well, they walked up to me and dude grabbed me by like my shirt and pulled me.
Okay.
Like out of nowhere, pulled me down. There was 3 of them. They fucking pulled my jacket off. And I'm like, you know what?
Jake was.
Y'all got it. I was a kid, man. I was a kid. They were older than me. I was like,
I mean,
I was embarrassed as fuck though.
I mean, I mean, you know.
I wanted to take my roller skate off and hit him, but
I mean, shit. Now, if they might have dropped that jacket if you would have hit him hard enough with that roller skate.
Probably
If
would've.
2 of them would have ran. You know how people is when you getting jumped. You knock one of them out, the other one he about to run.
Yeah, probably would have. But I was young.
You was a kid.
I was like 10, 11.
Oh yeah, man. You know,
maybe 12.
They get 11. You another jacket.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure your parents make a little paper. They get you another jacket.
I mean, my stepdad was all right. He was doing all right.
Okay.
Yeah, but
you got another jacket, didn't you?
I think my dad actually bought me a jacket.
Did he ever say, "Hey, son, fight back," or did he say, "All right, son, here you go"?
My pops was a bum. One of the best things he ever did for me was buy me a jacket. I don't remember which one though. I think it was a Steelers jacket. Oh, do you know what it was?
So he made up. He said, "I'm a deadbeat dad. Here you go, this starter jacket right here."
Yeah, he bought me the. It was
okay.
Yeah, for sure. So we need to wrap.
Okay.
But this was a fun conversation.
Oh,
and sure. I wish we could do longer.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is, man. You know,
give me your closing thoughts.
I tell black folks, man, get into Salesforce, get into the data center. Go to beingblackandit.com and you know, you could check out either book. If you're starting out, you want to start with the first one, and if you want to get into the dark ages, then you go into the second one. I think that any black person in America, especially now what they doing all the remote stuff, what you want to do is you want to get into Salesforce. AI is wiping a lot of coding stuff off.
Yep.
You want to get into what was the other one? So it was Salesforce. AI is a good thing to be into if you can learn machine learning and all of that.
Yeah.
And Cisco CCNA, the data center.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You don't need no college. You don't need no college degree. Matter of fact, Lumen, which used to be not give me the one not Excel. It was the power company.
CenturyLink? No.
It used to be CenturyLink. They call it Lumen now. They got Telecom right now over on Wright Street, $28 an hour.
Yep. Okay. And if people want to reach out to you,
you can check me at www.beingblackandit.com. Okay. Follow me on the gram on Being Black and IT.
And you would be open to talking to people about this?
Yeah, they can email me and all that. They can email me and all that. Grab the book, read it, and then just email me. You can send me, ping me on the gram. Send me a message. I'll tell you whatever you need to know.
For sure. Well, DP, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I'm glad we could do this.
Yeah.
And let's do it again.
We'll do it again. Maybe 6 months or 12 months.
Talk more shit. Because I know we got more shit to talk.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cool. I appreciate you, man. Everybody go check out the books. Go follow him on social media, all that.
Thank you.
And that's it. Another episode of Minnesota's #1 daily show live on Lake Street. I'm Jake Faircloth. Follow me everywhere at Jake Faircloth.
It ain't that I can't stop. It's that I won't stop. I made a few plays off a flip. Now I'm on top. I'm Southside Chief, homie. Yeah. What you know about it? Lake Street legend CEO, not the co-founder. What you wanna know about me? I'm so churched up. I'm the last man standing, but I went first up. Most hated, they don't say it when I roll up. The things that people say about me, they don't say close up. Check it. I ain't been to the booth in a minute. Niggas hate the fact that I'm winning. Who makes him the chief of the South Side? Oh my nigga, I'm not a lieutenant. When I was in the gym, you wasn't in it. FaceTime, so my windows is tinted. If I said that shit, then I meant it. Niggas gave me the rules and I bent it. Same nigga that was trapping while I was suspended. You wasn't in them hallways banging, boy, you wasn't in it. Really a genuine nigga, homie, don't get offended. From East Lake, South Murder, I'm just rappers that I can't stop. It's that I won't stop.